Hi, I'm Grace and I'm back with the fourth, I think, in our Pride Month videos. This one is sort of a random assortment, a grab bag of things, if you will. It is mostly nonfiction, but then there's a couple of others. So first, let us start with All Boys Aren't Blue by George Johnson. George is an amazing journalist. You've probably read some of his stuff, and if you haven't, you should definitely check it out. And this is a series of essays on his childhood, adolescence, and college years growing up as a queer Black boy. It covers a lot of topics such as gender identity, toxic masculinity, brotherhood, family, structural marginalization, consent, and Black joy. There are moments when it is a joy to read and moments when it's gutting, but that's why it's really important to read it. Next, we have one that I don't have my hands on because it's been checked out, yay. It's called The Stonewall Riots, Coming Out in the Streets by Gail Pippen. And it's a very concise telling for, I would say, about ages 10, 11 plus of the Stonewall Riots, which are the riots that started what would become pride parades all around the world. These were riots over the course of several days, started by trans women of color against cops and against, just everyone being awful to them and not letting gay people and trans people and queer people have any places of their own. And eventually those riots ended, and eventually those riots turned into what would become the Christopher Street Parade in honor of the riots, and eventually the Christopher Street Parade would become the Pride Parades, which happen all over the world, including in New York every year at the Stonewall Inn. It's really excellent modern contemporary history that will really dive into American history as well as gay history itself. So read it, enjoy it. There's a lot of photos and first-person narratives, so it's actually a really, really interesting read and a quick read. Next, we have a quick and easy guide to queer and trans identities. This is just a really cute little book that's sort of in graphic novel form that is just all about different identities. And maybe not everyone will fall into one of these identities because it's a wide and beautiful spectrum. But this is a really great primer for anyone to read to familiarize yourselves with some of the many queer and trans identities that are out there and help you out in the world. So next we have two anthologies of short stories. And, I forgot. Queer and Trans Identities is by Maddie G. and J.R. Zuckerberg. So, short story anthologies. If you've never gotten into short stories, I really recommend them because you can read a bunch very quickly and play in all sorts of different worlds, and they're over quickly as well. It's like reading an extra long chapter of a book, except then you're done with the story. So much better in some cases. So these are two really, really excellently done anthologies, both edited by Sandra Mitchell. This is All Out, the No Longer Secret Stories of Queer Teens, and it is a short story collection of historical fiction, sometimes fantastical, but always historical, from queer authors about queer characters. If you like any kind of historical fiction, I really recommend them because it pops into a lot of times that you don't otherwise see in books. The next one is out now, Queer We Go Again. And this one is as delightful as its title. It is all genres, it is all manner of wild things, and a lot of authors just took this opportunity to write something short that they have always wanted to write, or start something that they didn't think was long enough for an actual book. And here we go. There you go. So read it, love it, enjoy it. See you at the library.